Exhale, down dog. Nice Ujjayi Pranayama. Next inhale, walk or jump. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Samastatihi. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Next inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Samastatihi. Strong Mula Bandha. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Next inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Samastatihi. Bending the knees. Sun salutation B. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot. Inhale, up to warrior. Exhale, down to plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot. Inhale, up to warrior. Exhale, down to plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Next inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up, knees bend. Samastatihi. Inhale, knees bend. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up dog. Exhale down dog. Left foot, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up dog. Exhale down dog. Wide fingers, strong quadriceps. Steady drishti. Drishti and Mula Bandha are connected. On your own inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale up, bend the knees. Samastati. Inhale, knees bend. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot, inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. On your own inhale, walk or jump. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Samastati. It's an inhale, open the feet. Grab the big toes. Arms are straight. Exhale, elbows bend. Padangusthasana. First two fingers are under the big toes. The thumb lightly touches the tips of those first two fingers. Or you can press in. It doesn't have to be light. It's like at least make the connection. Your choice on how strong you want to make that connection. It's an exhale, hands under the feet. Inhale, arch, exhale, fold. Padahastasana. Press down with the toes. On this posture, I would rather have my knees bent and get my hands way underneath my feet so that the ball of the foot fits into the center of that palm. I think this is a really good posture for my wrists, especially after all of those planks in the sun salutations. So even if I have to bend my knees, I prefer to have that, you know, spreading out of all the metatarsals in the hand there from the feet pressing on them. Next inhale, arms straight. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale whenever you come up. Samastatihi. Jump open for triangle. It's an inhale open, exhale down. Strong Mula Bandha, nice Ujjayi Pranayama. The same toe hold that you had on the big toe posture. It's an inhale up, exhale, side two. Nice strong toe hold. Strong base, strong bandhas. It's an inhale up and over, rotated triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana. Listen to the breath. Let the breath stay consistent as possible through the whole practice. It's an exhale to look down. Inhale, travel up. Exhale, side two. Use an exhale to look down. Inhale up and open. Jump. Samastatihi. Jump open. Utthita Parsvakonasana. It's an inhale up. Exhale, second side. Super consistent Ujjayi Pranayama. Super consistent bandhas. It's an inhale up and across Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. It's an inhale up and over. Exhale, second side. Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. It's an inhale up and open. Samastati. Hands are on the hips. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Hands are on the floor. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, elbows bend. Prasarita Padottanasana A. On an inhale, arms come straight. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, look forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Prasarita Padottanasana B. It's your own inhale, up. Exhale, look forward. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, interlace. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold over. On an inhale, come on up. Hands move to the hips, look up. Exhale, look forward. Hands stay on the hips. Inhale. Exhale, first two fingers, take the big toes. Inhale, arms straight, maybe sway the back. Exhale, elbows bend. On an inhale, arms straight. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, come up, look up. Exhale, jump. Samastati. Inhale, open, extreme leg stretch. Exhale, head toward the right leg. Feet are set up like triangle. And if you love it, hands are up the back in prayer. Parsvottanasana. It's an inhale up, turn around, exhale down. Parsvottanasana, side 2. Strong Mula Bandha, strong quadriceps, nice consistent Ujjayi pranayama. It's an inhale to come up and open, jump, Samastati. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, arms straight. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, through jump, Dandasana. Nice, Maria. Next exhale. First 2 fingers take the big toes. Inhale, arch. Exhale, Paschimottanasana A. Head drops, elbows lift. On an exhale, take any hand position you want. Inhale, arch. We're going to do 3 hand positions. Exhale, fold. Strong Mula Bandha, wide open rib cage. Let the breath really accordion those ribs. On an exhale, switch your hand grab for the last time. Inhale, arch. Exhale, fold. Paschimottanasana C. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Hi, Maya. Inhale, up dog. Hi, Olivia. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, through jump. Hi, Rocky. Hips are in the air. Purvottanasana, intense east stretch. It's an exhale, sit down. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, through jump. Right foot, seated half-bound lotus. Half-bound lotus, intense west stretch.
Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale through jump, second side. Left foot, half lotus. Beautiful. Ardha Baddha Padma Paschimottanasana. Half bound lotus, intense west stretch. With Ujjayi, with Mula Bandha, and I love anytime the drishti is close. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right knee folds, left leg jumps through. Trianga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Take that left foot under the right knee to jump back. Up dog is always an inhale. Down dog is always an exhale. Left knee folds, right leg jumps through. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, take that right foot under your left knee all the way back to plank. So when I'm jumping through, I don't want to put too much strain on my right foot. So I always jump through and jump back. I don't really jump back, but you know what I mean. I always fake jump through and fake jump back with the same foot in front. If you don't have a knee issue, you could switch up your feet each time you jump through or you jump back. Which one's in front? It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Your left foot would be on top because your left foot was the long leg right there. And when you jump through, your right foot would be on top because your right leg is the long leg now. Janu Sirsasana A, left foot folded in. Hi, Weasel. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Right foot is in front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot is in front. Sit down onto the right heel. Janu Sirsasana B. It's your own inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Left foot is in front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Excuse me. Exhale, down dog. Right foot is in front because it's extended now. Sit down onto the left heel. Janu Sirsasana B. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Right foot is in front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot is in front for the jump through. Janu Sirsasana C. Beautiful. Strong Mula Bandha. Next inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Left foot was way out there, so it's in front. Right foot in front for the jump through. Janu Sirsasana C, left side. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Right foot is on top. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot is in front. Marichyasana A. Right knee up. It's an inhale, open that shin and shoulder. Exhale, release. Left foot is in front, or the right knee is up over the right arm. Right foot is in front for the jump through. Left knee is up. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Right foot is in front or on top, or that left knee is up over the left arm. Left foot folds into half lotus, right knee up, Marichasana B. Beautiful. It's an inhale, open. Exhale, release. Right foot half lotus or right foot tucked, left knee up, forward bind, Marichasana B, second side. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left knee is in front. Inhale through jump. Marichasana C. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Left foot is in front, or the right leg is over the right shoulder. Right foot jumps through, left knee up. Marichasana C, second side. Right arm hugging up that left leg. It's an inhale, look forward. Right foot is on top. Lift up, jump back. Left foot tucked or left foot half lotus. Marichyasana D, right knee up, twist across. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Up dog, down dog. Jump forward to squatting. And Pashasana. If your heels get to go on the floor, keep them on the floor. If they don't get to go on the floor, don't worry about the floor. Very consistent Ujjayi Pranayama. Very consistent Mula Bandha. Knees are together, twist across. Any variation is perfect. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, second side. I love doing this posture after Marichyasana C and Marichyasana D. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left knee folds as you jump through. Kranchasana A and B. If you'd like to, you can put a book or a short block under your right hip. So you could sit up a couple of inches. It's an exhale to fold in. Head to the leg, leg to the head. I actually use my front knee to kind of counterbalance, and I lean back a little bit further than I would normally so that I can really pull that leg down toward the floor and anchor that femur into the hip socket. So my hands, whether they're in the interlaced around my foot handhold or whether they are in kind of the primary series grab your wrist handhold, my arms are pulling or pushing that leg down into the hip socket. It's an inhale, arch. Exhale, right foot under the left knee. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right knee folds, left leg jumps through. It's an inhale. Maybe that foot doesn't even touch the floor. Kranchasana A. Beautiful. Andy, nice posture, nice lighting. It's an exhale to fold in. On an inhale, arch. Exhale, release. That left foot slides under the right knee. Inhale, up dog. Beautiful. Exhale, down dog. Lie down onto the belly. Palms face up. Shalabhasana A. Hands pull forward, flip over the fingertips, Shalabhasana B. Beautiful. Beautiful. Head stays at that height, hands move forward. It's an inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lie down onto the belly again. I like to put a 2-inch block under my rib cage because it makes my back feel bendier. Feet go toward the floor. First position, hands grab the feet. Second position, Gina, you're so watched. Second position, feet go toward the floor and the head can still be on the floor. Third position, head lifts up for back bend. Hi, Maria. That was delicious. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lie down onto the belly. Grab up your shins or the lowest part of your ankle, I guess the highest part of your ankle. Inhale, feet lift up. Beautiful. Dhanurasana. Head stays high. Nice, Ruben. Nice feet. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Lie down onto your belly. Grab up those shins again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll right. Nice, Claire. Nice, Maria. It's an inhale up. And through, roll left. Parsvadanyarasana, Parsvadrishti, side drishti. If you can move your eyeballs without moving your skull, you look off to the ceiling. It's an inhale up. You could go to child's pose. That's probably a good idea. Or come up for 5 more breaths in bow. And on this last bow, I let my legs go apart because I get a little more height. And because I don't always want to be rigid with myself. It's an inhale. That's kind of an April Fool's joke, like I'm never rigid with myself. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Come over onto the shins and knees. Feet can be flat along the floor, or you can go up onto the balls of the feet. Ustrasana. Take your time, take your vinyasa. Nice, Amelia. Laghu Vajrasana, little thunderbolt. Okay, so first, if you're going into little thunderbolt, have fun. Second, if you're gonna do, hi Nava, if you're gonna do, I love you. If you're going to do camel all over again, experiment with the nose drishti, which will be up at the ceiling, or the third eye drishti, which will be going down toward the floor. Nice. I'm next. Andy, that was great. Beautiful. Nice, nice, Marga. Marga, 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 Marga. Nice. Beautiful. Kapotasana B, Kapotasana A. Beautiful. Good, good, good. Vinyasa. Supta Vajrasana. Nice. 10 points for the assistant. 5 down, 5 up and down, 5 more down. Vinyasa, crane or crow. Nice, nice, you guys. That one's ridiculous, but super fun. Crane or crow. There's 2 cranes or 2 crows or one of each.
What is the main difference between the crane and the crow?
You can't tell when I'm doing it because my wrists aren't open enough for my arms to get straight. Crow, my shins make an X across my upper arm and my elbows are bent. My upper arm, my shins, my femurs, and my spine are all pretty much parallel to the floor. See how low I'm trying to get my butt? And then crane, it's the kneecaps on the arm. The butt is high, the arms are straight, the feet are higher. Crane is taller than crow.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. Vinyasa through jump. Left knee folds, right foot, half lotus. Bharadvajasana. Another nice twist. This twist has a back bend to it. It also has a wrist fixer in it. It's an inhale to look forward. Exhale, release. Right knee folds, left foot half lotus. Bharadvajasana. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, jump back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Legs cross. Right knee on top. Right knee is up toward the ceiling. Ardha Matsyendrasana. It's an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Left knee on top. Right foot next to the left hip. Legs are crossed. Ardha Matsyendrasana. So an inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. So there's about 100 leg behind the head situations coming up next. I would pick one position and really work it. So either one foot behind the head, or the other foot behind the head, or lying on the back, 2 feet behind the head. The sequence is right leg first, 5 behind the head, 5 folded forward, 5 lifted. Nice work, Maria. A couple more breaths. Legs behind the head, and then optional vinyasa, and whatever you're working on. You could do firefly, you could continue through second series if you wanted. You could do forearm stand, because that would just be skipping a couple postures and then going into forearm stand. Or if there's a posture that you're working on, like splits or one of the back bends that we've already done, and you want to kind of hit it again, use this next 5 minutes or so to do whatever you want. And also back bends. And let's see, it's 10:11. So how about 10:15? I'll start cueing closing sequence. Or I'll start talking and I'll forget. No, I'll try. I've actually had something to tell you guys that's just silly and totally unimportant since like Sun Salutation A. So about once a year, I get, I never remember that it's going to happen, but I get a survey from Rowan University. I think it's Rowan University, which I've also never heard of. And they ask questions like, are you certified to teach yoga? How much yoga do you teach? How many hours do you teach? How many days a week do you teach? And I'm like, I do get through it, even though the language is interesting. And then This one was all about our experiences with, COVID-19 restrictions. And the main concern is how many people get injured during class. So, the whole time I've ever been taking these surveys, which is many years now, I think, oh, did anyone get injured during class last year? And usually I just say no. And and that's probably unrealistic. And anyway, they were like, are there more injuries or fewer injuries? And I was like, none, none, none. There's no injuries. So then I got to skip that part. And then there's this area where they want to know exactly what we're doing through a survey. So it's never, ever actually going to work. So they're like, what kind of yoga do you teach? So I just say Ashtanga. I don't even mention that I teach Vinyasa because then they ask me a lot more questions. So I just say Ashtanga. And then it says, this is the part of the story that's about you. Then it says, how much time is spent on standing postures in each session? How much time is spent seated? How much time is spent supine prone? And then whatever the other thing is, prone. And I'm just, like 30 minutes standing, 30 minutes seated, I don't know, 5 minutes on the other two. And then it says, how much time do you spend doing pranayama? And I say 90 minutes. How much time do you spend meditating? And I say 90 minutes. But the way the survey is set up, pranayama and meditation are happening separately from asana. And I'm like, they're not. And every year I fill it out that way. So somewhere there's some poor college students that are part of the survey, but everyone who started the survey has already graduated. Somewhere there's some poor college students who think we do about 3 hours of yoga, 3 to 6 hours of yoga every time we practice, and no one ever gets hurt. It might skew their information a little bit.
You're probably the only one who fills out the survey out of the 5,000 people they send it to from this pretend college anyway.
I don't know if it's a real college. I mean, it's something. They're very consistent. They have sent me a survey many years in a row. But every time I'm like, I don't know if this is real. You're right. Well, and also they're going to eventually publish some study that's like, oh, over the last 10 years, no one has been injured in a 6-hour class in Vermont. No, I don't know what they're going to do with their findings. I really try to fill out surveys, and I go to McDonald's and get my son French fries every week, usually on Friday, but I didn't go yesterday because he didn't want French fries yesterday, which I think is crazy. Anyway, there's this guy, and I have to fill the survey out to make sure that he gets some, good loving for being an amazing employee. So if it's like a survey on a receipt, I fill it out every once in a while. But it's if it's a survey that comes into my email inbox and it's like, hey, will you fill out this survey? I'm like, you don't want me to do that? I would love to do that. Nice, Claire. Yeah, I missed it by 3 minutes. I'm glad you guys are already in shoulder stand. When people when people are like, "I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this," especially when people are telling me things like, I'm going to go to nursing school, then I'm gonna get my whatever the next thing is, and then I'm gonna become a traveling nurse, and then I'm gonna live out of my own van. In my mind, I'm like, that sounds like a fun thing to do. That's such a good idea. I totally don't care if you carry through with your plan. And and I just don't make that many plans. And I think it's because when I say something out loud like, "Oh, I'm going to go blah blah blah," other than showing up for yoga, a lot of other things either get, sidelined, or I just get distracted. Beautiful, beautiful shoulder stands. Nice headstand. Shoulder stand sequence, headstand sequence. Nice, Marga. Yes, yes, yes. When you land, let's see, that's your right leg going up toward the chalkboard. So when you land, yeah, land it right there. Don't let it drop down to the floor. See how it land? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And then whenever you're ready, land that leg high. Nice. Nice. That was a good handstand.
Kathy, what is a good way to start working on the forearm stand?
Just like you did with handstand. I would go like this far from the wall, like, I don't know if you can see my hands. Get your hands about that far from the wall.
Uh-huh.
And then the first thing that I like to play with is elbows are closer than you'd think. Hands are down. Try that. And if for some reason that's too funky on your shoulders, interlace your hands and it'll take a little pressure off your shoulders. For some shoulders, palms face down is preferred, like their shoulders love it. And then for other shoulders, that rotation of the wrist can really help.
But I am facing the
Yeah.
okay, it's not like I'm walking in the wall.
No, I never do that because I feel like I'd have to fill out that survey and be like, yes, people were falling because they didn't have any room to get off the wall. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice press. Bound lotus, seated lotus, lifted lotus into Shavasana. You know what would be an interesting survey? Out of all the people on earth, because yoga is everywhere right now, what yoga posture do they know the Sanskrit name for? If I say, tell me the Sanskrit name of a yoga posture, what is the first yoga posture that pops into your mind? I would bet it's Shavasana. That's probably like the common denominator yoga asana name that humanity loves. That's my bet. Maybe I should get a hold of that university and be like, look, I have some ideas for your survey. And I also have some contacts. Like there's a lot of people in Africa that I think you're leaving out of your survey. I don't know all of them, but I know a few. Hi, Sarah. Marga's in Burlington and she's in Shavasana next to her mom right now. And they did, well, I'm not surprised about Marga, but anytime I meet someone new, I'm a little bit surprised when they do everything. Nice sweater. So this book by Swami Rama called Living with the Himalayan Masters has so many fun. Every single little chapter is like a little interaction he had with someone. Gina, did you want to say something? No, you're just up close to take a look. He has a couple of chapters on people that he interacted with that were Muslim. He has a couple chapters on people that he interacted with who are Jewish, and a couple chapters on people who are Christian, and they were all different super spiritual swamis or monks or whatever the title was, living in the Himalayas. In the end, I'm not anywhere near the end. I'm like a third of a way toward the end, but I think I finished the part where he was talking about various religions. And I haven't yet found a chapter on Jainism, but Buddhism, all the different religions, he's like, everything is about love. He said, after being with all of these people, everything is about love. I thought that was great. Anyway, this is page 273. After renouncing the seat of Shankaracharya, I went to my master and stayed with him for a few days. From there, I decided to go on a pilgrimage to Amrinath, the highest shrine of Kashmir. Amrinath is a cave which is covered by snow all year round. The dripping water icicles look like Shivalinga, a symbol adored by Hindus, exactly as the cross is by Christians or the Star of David is by Jewish people. The story of a pair of white pigeons is very famous in this area. It is said that a pair of white pigeons come on the day of pilgrimage. A Kashmiri Pandit, who was a learned man, was my guide on this journey. He started telling me a story about Jesus Christ, claiming that Jesus had lived in Kashmir practicing meditation. The Pandit referred to a manuscript written in the Tibetan language that is preserved in a monastery situated at the height of 14,000 feet in the Himalayas. It was later translated by a Russian writer and then translated into English and published as The Unknown Life of Jesus Christ. In this part of the Himalayas, many people believe this story. There is a nearby mount which is famous because Jesus lived practicing meditation there. My guide gave me 3 reasons to support this statement. First, the garb which Jesus wore was traditional Kashmiri garb. Second, his hairstyle was also Kashmiri. And third, the miracles that he performed are well known yogic miracles. The Pandit claimed that Jesus Christ left Asia Minor for an unknown period of his life when he was 13 years old, and he lived in the valleys of Kashmir until he was 30. I do not know whether to believe him, but I certainly didn't want to. I did not know whether to believe him, but I certainly didn't want to dismiss the idea. His love for Jesus Christ was immense, and I did not want to argue with him. On our way to Aramnath, he took me to an ashram which was 7 miles away in the forests of Gulmarg. Gulmarg is one of the places of interest often visited by foreigners. A Swami lived there who was also a scholar of Kashmir Shivism and who practiced meditation most of the time. Kashmir Shivism has many scriptures still untranslated and unexplained. So much is left unsaid in these great scriptures that they are only understood by those fortunate ones who are on the path and who have already understood something of it. The scriptures can never be understood without a highly competent and accomplished teacher. The philosophy views the spirit, mind, body, and all levels of reality in the entire universe as a manifestation of the principle termed spanda, spontaneous vibration. Spanda, S-P-A-N-D-A, spanda, spanda. The subject matter of these scriptures is Shaktipata, the awakening of the latent force buried in human beings. This Swami informed me of a roving adept who visited Amarant Cave Shrine every summer, but no one knew where he lived permanently. People coming from Latka often saw him treading the mountain paths as well. My interest was not only to visit the cave shrine, but to meet this roving adept of the Himalayas. Of all those I have met in my life, 3 were very impressive and left deep imprints in the bed of my memory. This adept was one of them. I stayed with him for 7 days, just 50 yards away from the shrine. He visited this cave shrine practically every year. He was about 20 years of age, very handsome, had a luster in his cheeks that was like that of cherries. He was a brahmachari who wore only a loincloth and possessed nothing. He was so acclimated to high altitudes that with the help of yoga practices, he could travel barefoot and live at elevations of 10,000 to 12,000 feet. He was insensitive to cold. Living with him was an enlightening experience to me. He was perfect and full of yoga wisdom and serenity. People called this young adept Bal Bhagwan, child God incarnate, but he always kept himself above such praises and constantly traveled in the Himalayan mountains. He already knew my master and had lived in our cave monastery. He asked about several students who were then practicing meditation. He spoke briefly, in gentle sentences. and I could feel that he was not pleased when my guide started bowing and touching his feet and running around in emotional devotion. This great adept became an example for me. I had never before seen a man who could sit still without blinking his eyelids for 8 to 10 hours. But this adept was very unusual. He levitated 2.5 feet during his meditations. We measured this with a string, which was then later measured by a foot rule. I would like to make it clear, though, as I have already told you, that I don't consider levitation to be a spiritual practice. It is an advanced practice of pranayama with application of bandhas. One who knows about the relationship between mass and weight understands that it is possible to levitate, but only after long practice. This is not what I was seeking. I directly wanted to have an experience with this adept. I asked him a question about the highest state of enlightenment, and muttering a mantra from the Upanishads, he answered, "When the senses are well controlled and withdrawn from contact with the objects of the world, then sense perceptions no longer create images in the mind. The mind is then trained in one-pointedness. When the mind no longer recalls thought patterns from the unconscious, a balanced state of mind leads to a higher state of consciousness. A perfect state of serenity is established in sattva. It's the highest state of enlightenment. The practice of meditation and non-attachment are the two keynotes. A very firm conviction is essential for establishing a definite philosophy of life. Intellect intervenes and blind emotions misguide. Though both are great powers, they should be known first, analyzed, and then directed toward the source of intuition. Intuition is the only source of true knowledge. All this, whatever you see in the world, is unreal because of its constantly changing nature. Reality is hidden beneath all these changes. He instructed me to march fearlessly on the path that I was treading. After 7 days of satsanga, the guide and I left this great sage. I returned to Srinagar and then went to my abode in the Himalayas to enjoy the autumn. All right. Questions, answers, comments. I'm going to open my curtains and get some real light in here. The real lumens. But I can hear you if you say anything.
What was that book, Kath? What was that story from?
It's called Living with the Himalayan Masters.
Mm.
And it's Swami Rama's autobiography.
Oh, okay. Is that the one you've been reading from?
Yeah, I've been reading from it a lot.
Mm.
It was published in 1978.
Living with the Masters is the title of it.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
Living with the Himalayan Masters.
Himalayan Masters. Yeah, yeah.
And the next chapter, well, you know what? I'm just going to show you guys this. This is a shrine in Kashmir, and everyone who's around this shrine, the history is that this is the shrine where Jesus lived.
Hmm. I'm going to put this in my phone, the name of this book.
Living with the Himalayan Masters by Swami Rama. And the language in the book is definitely, like he. That's not me laughing. That's me talking about men.
I don't know.
Okay, now I'm laughing.
I have no problem with that. So many people.
So, but I change it when I read it out loud. I try to change it to they and that, you know, like they and them, and include it a little more. And there is goddess worship, and there are a few women saints and teachers that he visited, but for the most part, because he was male, he visited all of the male people, and a lot of the people he visited became incredibly legendary for us. The guy whose mother became his guru, let's see, yeah, I should go through the book and then put my own notes in the table of contents and put the name of each saint next to
Huh.
the page number, because his titles for his chapters, and the chapters are very short. Some of them are a page, some of them, like a long chapter would be 5 pages.
Yeah.
But, you know, the things are like direct experience alone is the means. Real knowledge removes suffering. A
Mm.
mantra for happiness. Misuse of a mantra for bees. Like, none of it has the person's name, but he studied with Gandhi, he studied with Aurobindo, he studied with Neem Karoli Baba. He's like, pretty much, if you've read a book about someone who, you know, is a super strong teacher from the beginning of the last century,
Yeah.
maybe not the beginning, but somewhere there, he spent probably at least a week with them, and some of them months.
Mm.
And he went to school, which a lot of sadhus and swamis don't necessarily go to school and have a formal education, and he went through college. So it's just, you know, it's
Yeah.
just super cool. Yeah. I read something, no, I was listening to something, I think it will be in the newsletter. And it was about how prayers are woven into fabric, like doing mantras. So it just reminded me of like doing mantra when you make something puts that mantra into that thing you're making. So when Milk Bubba was here, we were doing mantra in our head while we were cooking, and there wasn't supposed to be a lot of chatting in the kitchen. Like you could say, please hand me the carrots, so you don't have to walk across the kitchen to get them yourself or something. But for the most part, it's mantra blessing the food as it is being made. And that mantra gets into the food, and then the food gets into us. And anyway, so I was listening to this cool thing about putting prayers into fabric and weaving the prayers into the fabric. And I'm pretty sure that link will be in the next newsletter. And then I read a chapter in here that was about this magic blanket, and it was complete, like it was alive, and this wonderful person, this sadhu, had taken every patch of fabric he had ever found, and anytime he finds a patch of fabric, he sews it onto this blanket, and it became very heavy and very powerful, because that's what he put all of his energy into. The one pointedness of putting our energy into something very consistently over time is a pretty solid theme throughout all of the yoga stuff that I read. You know, like some people are like, the mala necklace is completely alive and vibrational because, bye Andy, love you, thank you, because they put mantra onto that mala every day.
Is that Ekagrata?
Ekagrata, one pointed focus. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I know one person who has that, and it's incredibly powerful. Like to have seen that person through their whole life,
Nice.
never waver from that one thing. It's just incredible to see it, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very unusual, I think, at least in my experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I also this week read something about if you have a topic that you want to talk about, just please unmute and tell me what it is. Because otherwise we just jump off cliffs. So I read, oh, look, you guys, that's an animal. Oh my gosh, that is a cute animal. I actually thought that was like fluff to cuddle during Shavasana, you know, like, oh, I'll stay warm.
No, it's the dog. He comes during Savasana. So
Stephanie, that's so sweet.
yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We were talking about weaving prayers in. Oh, maybe I forgot it. That'd be convenient. Oh, topic's gone. It was some sideline. It doesn't matter.
Kathy,
Mireille,
can we talk a little bit about, I know that this may not, I don't know. Can we talk a little bit about Iyengar?
yeah, yeah. Okay, so BKS Iyengar is the unhealthy nephew of Krishnamacharya. And the reason that he went to live with Krishnamacharya was because his birth family was like, we have so many children, you're unwell, my sister married someone who is currently successful, you should go live with my sister and be the houseboy. So BKS Iyengar moved in with Krishnamacharya and had been very, very sickly as a child. And so he was weak. And most people who have I had to think about how to say this. Most people who have house servants treat them very abruptly or somewhat gruffly. And I think that was kind of holding true. And BKS Iyengar was like, every once in a while in the beginning, when his uncle would be in a good mood, he would say, can I study yoga with you? And his uncle, Krishnamacharya, would say, no, you're not fit. You're too weak. And so then he would wait a while, and then his uncle would get in a good mood and he'd bring it up again. And eventually he was eating more nutritious food. He was living in a different place. I don't know how much difference that makes, but it's mentioned. And he had gone to them weak, but not sick. So he increased his health a little bit, and he continuously asked, and he would try to glean any yoga information he could. And then finally Krishnamacharya said, okay. I think that's actually part of what's so interesting about BKS Iyengar, is that he was told no so many times. So anyway, then he started studying at the yoga school in Mysore. And at that time, BNS Iyengar was there. There were a lot of people there, and Pattabhi Jois was there. So during that time, when he was studying in Mysore with Krishnamacharya as his guru, and then he moved somewhere, I don't remember where, and he was doing yoga, and I don't think he was he may have even been married already. He was married or he wasn't married, and he was struggling to make money. Some people from the West, someone, I believe it was from England, there was a person from Japan who discovered him and was like, this guy's brilliant. And so he traveled to Japan at one point to teach yoga. That was his first out of the country experience. And the people from Japan knew a couple people from England, and they were like, this guy is amazing. And I don't know if they went to India and met him. Anyway, they all knew each other. And he ended up going to England. And when he was in England, they shot all the photographs for his book, Light on Yoga. And Light on Yoga is what propelled him into becoming a famous yoga teacher, because at that time, I don't know how many yoga books were out, but they weren't common and they weren't thorough. And his book had, 1,000 times more photos than other yoga books. So him writing Light on Yoga. And another thing that I think is super cool about BKS Iyengar is he's actually an excellent writer, and he knows his philosophy. He grew up, knowing a lot of like Brahmin information already. So he had a base as a child. Even though he was sickly, he still had a base of knowledge. But it turns out that I think he's a fabulous writer. I love his book, Light on Life. It's his autobiography.
Writing is like poetry. It's so beautiful. It's like informative, but it's also so reflective, and I don't know, his expression is beautiful. It's really beautiful to read it or to listen to it.
And he is the only author that I've read that mentions 10, I think, koshas. Is it 10? No, 7 koshas. I think he has 7 koshas and 10 vayus. And he's also one of the only people who actually attempted to put all of those things that come from different sources into one chapter of a book, where he's like, I think it all fits together. And I'm like, yeah, this is me drinking hot chocolate. That's how it fits together.
I also love that he's so unique in that he really was sickly and weak, and I almost feel like he had some skeletal issues, and so he really experienced firsthand the benefit of practice. So there's something about him where I feel like he knows the practice in a way that most people don't know it,
Yeah.
Especially today, like most of us come to this practice when we're healthy and strong, and we love the exertion and sweating and all of that, and this practice was hard for him right out of the starting gate, but he experienced this incredible physical transformation as well as spiritual. So I love his perspective on the practice. I feel like because he started from a place of poor health, he can talk about it in ways that are very unique and insightful.
Yeah. And
What's the difference between him and, I know BNS Iyengar is the guy who Andrew Epler learned from. And what's his situation? Not to take
BNS Iyengar has a yoga shala, and he teaches Ashtanga yoga, similar to how we practice, but not identical. And BKS Iyengar completely stopped practicing Ashtanga yoga and only practices I don't know what he's doing these days. He's already passed away. Anyway, he only would practice Iyengar yoga. And in a very traditional Iyengar yoga class, it's, a 2-hour class, and you do 4 postures. It's a long process. And another thing, I know that right now it's really popular. I heard about this. Not that much gets to me. That's not true. A lot of things reach me. But anyway, right now, if someone has done something not great, we kind of toss the whole person. Like, we should be succinctly good at our craft and good at being a human being and good at being in society and decent with our language and those kinds of things. And both Patabi Joyce and BKS Iyengar have a history of not being gentle all the time. So, just so you know, they're rough. There's videos of them teaching, and they were teaching the way they were teaching according to their culture and their history, and time moves on. And then we look back at those videos. I mean, I would have looked at that video as a little kid and been like, ooh, I'm never going to be around that man. I used to see people that were mean. Like, some of my friends had mean parents, and I'd be like, I'm never going over to your house. I am too scared to go over to your house. And their parents, it wasn't like they were hitting them. They were just gruff. And I was like, oh, I'm afraid of gruff. Anyway, does that help, Maria?
Yes, that's very helpful. I mean,
You know what else I read recently, Maria? Every time I read something interesting, I should just like somehow keep track of it, because I don't do that, and it's becoming a problem. The older I get, the more of a problem that is. Anyway, I read recently that in an interview that he did later in life, he said, perhaps I went too far, when people were asking him about his rigidity around alignment. And near, how we all kind of mellow out as we get older, near the end of his life, he said, perhaps I went too far.
I feel like, what a tough position to be in. Like, he was handed this tradition from Krishnamacharya, and there was nobody. This had just been reawakened because Krishnamacharya had, was a scholar and had access to the written material that was locked away in some fabulous shrine-like library. I mean, and he could translate it and read it. And I just think about, like, to be Patabi Joyce or to be Iyengar, and to feel like you have the responsibility of this tradition and of this knowledge, and of somehow there's got to be this sense of feeling like you need to keep it pure. And we have kind of this luxury of not having to do that we can modify things, and we don't have the responsibility of keeping the lineage the way it always was, or something. I don't, anyway.
Yeah.
That way.
The only thing is that BKS Iyengar invented his own yoga.
Yeah.
So he didn't feel it, obviously.
Right. So he and part of that was, there's two ideas around that, of course, or 18, and I only know two of them. One of them is that he felt that the way he practiced during his own time, not when he was with his teacher, that was what healed him.
Right.
Like, structurally healed him. And he was practicing very slowly because it was all his body could handle. I like that theory. The other theory was he was being rebellious, and he's like, thank you, I got the information I wanted. You are not nice. I'm going to do my own thing. You guys, I have screened my words so many times today. Anyway, Maria, is that kind of what you wanted to know?
Yeah, it's sad that Krishnamacharya was not as nice either, to say, I'm not going to work with you because
I think, you know what? I don't think it's sad at all. It's just how it was. Like, he was being the head of a household, and he was also working full time, and he was carrying out his responsibilities. And the culture was not to mince words and say, can you please clean up your room? The culture was, everything should be perfect, like what the expectation is. If the expectation isn't carried out, what the fuck?
But didn't he also, after he hurt the king and he got fired, didn't he kind of mellow out too?
Yeah, he did. But he also,
Weasel.
He did. He did. And he also had Desikachar when he was 50 years old. And I think having kids changes you up. You know, I've noticed it. Anyway, I think that Krishnamacharya being gruff was just like me trying to speak English right now in 2021. If someone looks back at this video in 50 years, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, isn't it funny how they used to talk? Because things just keep developing. And hopefully, you know, appreciating more and more subtle concepts of happiness. I just glanced at the clock.
The lighting yoga, I have the English version, but I have that Spanish version, and it's so much nicer. I mean, if you look at the material and the quality of, I don't know if you can see it, but the quality of the pictures is really nice. And it's really nice that it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
Maria, does it feel different in Spanish? Like, does the text read the same way, or is it, you know, or do you get something different from reading it in Spanish?
Yes, you know, I hadn't done that before, but since we've been in the pandemic, I've been teaching in Spanish to my community in Ecuador, and they don't have any books. So, and because, you know, inspired by Kathy, I sometimes read in Shavasana, and there are very few books that have been translated into Spanish. I mean, I have the Yoga Sutras, this one, and I found a Desikachar book, but that.
When you read a Yoga Sutra, Maria, and you read it in Spanish, and then you read the same Yoga Sutra in English, do they feel differently?
I mean, I just don't understand how they interpret the Yoga Sutras, you know, because he's like saying all of this stuff, and I'm like, I'm reading the same thing that you're reading. And, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Yoga Sutras.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if sometimes I think I shouldn't read that interpretation of them. I should just read.
I agree. I 100% support that. Yeah, I totally agree. Think for yourself, do your own contemplation. I don't read commentary unless I'm really confused. And then there's only specific authors that I'll read. Okay, clock says that we should go on with our days. Thank you for coming. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for bringing all of your pets. Thank you for letting us all into each other's houses. I love you. I love us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Kathy. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love
Be
you.
well, everyone. Go with peace and love.